everybody, it's Elisa here. So today is the time for another Q&A. And last week I already did a Q&A answering your questions about being in quarantine and also being in recovery. And if you haven't seen that video, then I'm gonna include it in the description. But today it's another Q&A, and this is where I'm just gonna answer your general questions you have about eating disorders and being in recovery. So let's get started. So the first question is, can I experience extreme hunger even if I'm weight restored? So definitely yes, because extreme hunger is not only tied to your weight, but actually it's more about the restrictive past you come from. For example, I was never underweight, I never lost weight in my eating disorder, and I also never lost my period. And I came from a past of bulimia, anorexia, actually binge eating, and even I went through a period of extreme hunger in my recovery, because it wasn't only like the number on the scale that dictated my whether I'm physically recovered or not, but actually it was like all the internal damage the restriction caused me, because I had so many starvation symptoms. So how can you know that you are actually weight restored by your body? Because you can't definitely say it by the number on a scale or even being at the normal BMI weight range. And here I really recommend you to also watch my video how to know if you're weight restored. And also extreme hunger is so different for everybody. For some people it maybe lasts for just a few weeks. For some people it's a few months or even the entire length of their recovery. So all kind of different combinations of extreme hunger are normal, and you just have to respond, and over time it's gonna pass. And one person asked me to talk about intuitive eating in anorexia recovery, and also what if I don't eat enough when intuitive eating? Do I have to force myself then? So this is exactly why intuitive eating doesn't work for everybody in recovery, and especially in the early stages of recovery, because our hunger cues can actually be messed up because of the past of restriction. Our digestion and our metabolism can be compromised because of the restriction we come from. And not feeling hungry in recovery doesn't mean that you don't have to eat, but it just means that your hunger is actually suppressed because you have been through a starvation. It's almost like your body has been through this hibernation period in order to conserve energy so you would survive. And to wake your body up from this hibernation, or to overcome the starvation, you actually have to show your body by eating in abundance that the starvation period is over and you finally have reached to the land of abundance of food. So your body will start to wake up and see yay, we have finally enough food to recover and to return back to normal living. So I really hope it makes sense. And also this means that not waiting for your physical hunger cues to guide you, but rather follow your mental hunger. A lot of people who say that I don't have normal hunger cues, at the same time they think about food all day. Think about the food thoughts as your extreme hunger. Your food thoughts and the food obsession you have all day shows this is how hungry you are, and this is your extreme hunger guiding you to eat. And also rather think about regular eating every 2-3 hours, eating your 3 meals and 3 snacks in between, and almost eating mechanically. And sometimes it means force feeding yourself, because if you wait for your body to give you those intuitive hunger signals when at the same time your body is suppressed, then it's never gonna happen. But you knowing that you have been through starvation and restriction, you have to show your body that there is an abundance of food, and it's okay to recover, it's okay to relax about food, it's okay to eat in abundance. And then over time your body will recover, and your normal hunger cues and the digestion and metabolism and everything will be restored as well. So the next question is, what do you think about keto diet? So I think about the keto diet the same that I think about any other diet. I think it's very harmful, it doesn't work in a long run, and actually it's a stepping stone towards an eating disorder. And you can also see my video why diets don't work, because it doesn't matter like what is the label of a diet, whether it's like the keto diet, Atkins diet, the low fat diet, high carb diet, like whatever diet. If you have to consciously restrict food, if you follow some food rules, if you have a mindset of good and bad foods, healthy and unhealthy foods, even if the label of the diet is a lifestyle change, then actually it's just another form of the same thing. It's just a fancy name to another diet, and it's just another way to control your eating. And this definitely isn't the food freedom, and it will interfere with the process of reaching full recovery. So let's take the next question. Does 2,500 calories minimum apply for those at healthy BMI but with hypothalamic amenorrhea? Yes, definitely it does. But also 2,500 calories is just the minimum. It's not the maximum, meaning that you may need to eat way more than that, than just the minimums. And especially if you still don't have your period and you have hypothalamic amenorrhea, then it's a very clear sign that you are not eating enough, or you are not resting enough, or you still have too much stress in your life. And I have actually created an online course like how to restore your period and overcome the hypothalamic amenorrhea after an eating disorder. So if you're interested, I'm gonna include the link to the course in the description. And here the same thing applies that we talked about before, that even if you are in a normal BMI weight range, it doesn't mean that this is your healthy set point weight, and it doesn't mean that you are physically recovered. So there is way more that goes into being physically recovered than just being in a certain BMI weight range. And the next question is, hi Elisa, do you think a healthy dieting behavior is a thing, and what is the difference from an eating disorder? So here, what I said before, I think no matter how you label it, a diet is still a diet, is a diet, is a diet. And I think that this kind of behavior can definitely be on a spectrum of disordered eating or an eating disorder. But I also want to talk about the healthy eating here, because I guess this is what you're really asking about. What about the healthy eating? Because many people don't know that actually intuitive eating also includes thinking about nutrition, because people maybe think that there's only two options, you rather have to diet to be healthy, or you're just gonna eat whatever you want and you don't care about nutrition at all, because otherwise it's like a restriction or something. But actually there can be this middle ground, and you can find balance. And intuitive eating definitely includes thinking about nutrition as well. And in the book Intuitive Eating, there is actually an entire chapter dedicated to nutrition. I think it was principle number 10 that was about gentle nutrition. But for a good reason, this chapter is left to be in one of the last chapters in the book, because first you really have to overcome this diet mindset and the good and bad foods and healthy and unhealthy foods, and also to stop focusing and thinking about your weight, because all of this is just gonna interfere with truly listening to your body and listening to your intuition when making food choices. So first you have to overcome this diet mindset and fully recover from this restrictive thinking about food and focusing on your weight as the sole marker of health. And then you can actually find balance when you are eating whatever you want, but also it includes thinking about nutrition and eating nutritious foods, but at the same time not restricting or depriving yourself from anything you want to eat. For example, I came from a past of orthorexia, and in my recovery I went through a period when I was I don't want to see any fruits and vegetables and salads and smoothies and anything, because this is what I forced myself to eat in my eating disorder. And in my recovery I went through a phase of only wanting to eat my former fear foods, or the foods I normally binged on and everything. And now I have arrived to a place where I eat whatever I want, but this doesn't mean that I only eat the junk food all day, every day. And actually I do crave like smoothies and salads and like fruits and vegetables and you know, nutritious foods as well, and I have arrived to the like balance. But the difference here is that I have no kind of like fear foods, I have no restrictive mindset around foods, I have no shame or judgment regards to food, I don't focus on my weight, I don't choose the foods in order to like control my weight. So the mindset that I have with food is like totally different now. And I don't eat the nutritious foods because otherwise I feel guilty if I don't, but I eat them just because like how it makes me feel, and I want to just like nourish my body. But at the same time I eat any other food I crave, and I listen to my body, and I feel that I have this like food freedom where I truly eat like a variety of foods, and that also includes like nutritious foods. And here I really recommend you to also read my post about the misconceptions about intuitive eating. And another video I can recommend you to watch is Intuitive Eating, Listening to Your Body as a Whole, where I talk about this a little bit more. So the next question is, do we really need 2,300 to 2,500 calories daily? I still struggle with amounts. So actually the recommendation is not 2,300 to 2,500, but actually the minimums are 2,500 to 3,500 based on your sex, your age, and your height. And also these are just minimums, they are not maximums. And too many people still use those guidelines for a restriction, because if you only allow yourself to eat the bare minimums and you don't allow yourself to go over that, then actually like following those like recovery guidelines can become like very restrictive, and this is not going to take you to full recovery. Because the real marker of like what's going to take you to full recovery is by responding to your full hunger, like physical hunger but also like mental hunger, and letting go of like all limits, because many people are way more hungry in recovery than just the minimum of like 2,500 calories. And also I recommend you to see this video where I talk about this a little bit more. And the calorie minimums are not even based on the people who are in eating disorder, but actually it's based on the normal like energy balanced people. And this is why like those guidelines are only minimums. And in recovery you have things like mental hunger and extreme hunger that will guide you to eat a lot more than just the minimum guidelines. So let's take the next question. How can I work on my body image? I feel like I don't know how to love my larger body. So here what I can recommend is like maybe don't have the first goal like needing to love my body, because maybe this can seem like too impossible or out of reach for the start. And you can actually start from something less daunting and actually more doable. For example, you can start looking into implementing things like body neutrality, body respect, and body kindness. For example, body neutrality can mean that instead of focusing on having to like love your body or love how your body looks, you rather turn your focus into like feeling grateful for what your body can do. So you can start to practice gratitude towards your body. For example, if you don't love how your legs look, you can still feel grateful that you have legs and that your legs can actually take you to places and being able to move around in this world. Or for example, you may not like the shape of your arms, but at the same time you can feel gratitude that with your arms you can give your kids a hug and you can take care of your family. So rather direct your focus from how your body looks towards like what your body can do, and find things you can appreciate about your body. Or for example, with body respect, you can think like maybe I don't love how my body looks, but I can still treat it with respect. And to treat your body with respect, this can mean that I stop comparing my body to others out of respect towards my body. or I stop wearing clothes that make me feel uncomfortable, and out of respect I'm gonna wear clothes that make me feel in my body the most comfortable. Or you respect your body by responding to its like hunger signals. You also give your body enough sleep, enough rest, enough self-care. And these can all be practices that build a better body image and just a general like better relationship with your body. Or with implementing body kindness, you can start to just speak to your body in a kind and compassionate way. You can tell your body everything you appreciate about what your body is doing for you, and you can talk to your body like you would talk to a friend. Because with your friends, you don't have to love how they look, but actually you just accept them and love them for who they are. And you don't need to like love how they look in order to appreciate them, feel gratitude towards them, or speak to them kindly. And actually how your friends look, it's not even that important to you. So really start to see the relationship with your body the same way you see a relationship with your friends. So really start to maybe implement all of these like practices I told you about, because all of this really helps you to start like befriending your body, becoming friends with your body, other than like having to focus on like loving how your body looks. So the next question is what to do if you're hungry but can't decide what to eat and everything seems too much. So firstly, there is no such thing as too much food in recovery, and you actually have to start challenging this fear of eating too much and start to really respond to your hunger, whether like physical or mental hunger. And if you can't decide what to eat, you could look towards like normal eaters, like what they eat, people who don't restrict foods or who don't try to eliminate any foods. Or for example, you could think maybe in your past when you were younger or before an eating disorder, what were the foods that you really enjoyed eating, and maybe you can implement some of those foods. Or at the same time, you could make a list of your fear foods, and these can literally become the grocery list of foods you have to buy and you have to challenge yourself to eat, because all of those foods are what you have been avoiding, but your body is telling you like these are the exact foods that it actually wants. Because the answer to like what to eat in recovery is to like look towards the foods that you are currently restricting or avoiding or trying to limit, and these are the foods you have to start eating and challenge in order to overcome the eating disorder. And sometimes if there is like too much like over analyzing your meals and like what to eat in a moment, and when you tend to like panic in the moment when it's time to eat, then sometimes like planning your meals or snacks beforehand can help as well to really like reduce the overthinking, and there is like something you have already decided you're gonna eat and then you're just gonna eat it without the overthinking and over analyzing. Because overthinking and over analyzing is really like the tool like eating disorder uses, so you would like freeze and not know what to do, and then it's much rather you're gonna respond in restrictive ways. So yeah, sometimes the like planning your meals beforehand or committing to a certain like eating schedule, like just eating regularly, can really help you with like stop the overthinking and start to like just eat. So the next question is do you have any tips how to cope with fear of never-ending weight gain? For me, what really helped me was to understand kind of the science part of the recovery, like how the recovery works, especially physically, to understand about the the metabolism and how the set point weight works and everything. Because with all of that, I learned that if I eat more, and especially if I stop all restriction and compensating, then my metabolism will also speed up, and that my body actually has like so many internal processes that work towards like finding my like energy balance, and there is no such thing as like never-ending weight gain. And also, if you want to know more, then in my book I explained this like physical part of the recovery and how how the metabolism works and the set point and everything. So you can read my book, and at least like gathering all of this information really helped me to calm my fears about the weight gain or the like the never-ending weight gain or never-ending like extreme hunger and everything. So yeah, you can check out my book. And secondly, to help you cope with the fear of weight gain in recovery, really start to focus on like, what else will I gain with this recovery process than just the weight? Because the eating disorder only wants you to focus on your weight. But this is not what the recovery is about. Recovery is not about like just like gaining weight, but recovery is actually about like gaining back your life and your freedom. So really start to think about like all the positive things you're gonna gain in recovery besides the weight. Things like being a normal eater, like getting back your normal hunger cues, stopping the never-ending like food obsession and food thoughts. So you can actually start spending your time like thinking about something else than just food all day. And also with recovery, you can start to feel more energy, better skin, nails, hair, restore your metabolism and speed up your digestion. You can also start to sleep better, have less anxiety, and just like having a better mood, laughing more. And also with recovery and achieving full recovery, when before your all attention was in your food and in your body, then after recovery you have so much more like mental space to really start to like direct this focus towards like more important things in your life. For example, you can find more connection again with your partner, with your kids, with your friends. You have more time and the mental space to think about your goals and dreams and focus on your work and what you love to do. So yeah, there is so much more you're gonna gain in recovery than just the weight. And what you can do, yeah, is to like make the list of everything else you're gonna gain in recovery besides the weight. Because whenever you lose track, whenever the eating disorder is making you focus on only the weight, then really you can see the list and see like all the other things you're gonna gain in the process of recovery. And I have one more question for you. How long does it take to lose rebound weight and achieve your set point weight? So this is the question I really can't answer, because only your body knows. Only your body will decide your set point weight, and the speed or the length of time somebody will get there is different for everybody. But something you can do to make this process as quick as possible, to not delay it any longer, is to like fully 100% focus on your recovery. So stop all restriction, compensation, and also like work on your mindset. Do everything in your part to make sure that your body is like fully recovering. For example, if your effort for recovery is only like 60%, then you can't expect 100% full recovery. Your effort also needs to be 100% if you want the 100% results. So don't focus on what your body should do or when it's gonna do it, but rather focus on like, am I doing everything? Am I doing enough? Or what else can I do? So yeah, make sure you are implementing all the steps of recovery. And again, like not just the physical part of it, but also like the mental part, because it's all connected. And since it's all connected, then rather than focusing on when will I lose this weight, start to focus on accepting your body right now and starting to live your life right now. Because this constant weight focus by itself can already increase your stress levels. And I would say weight focus rather keeps the weight on, because it keeps you in stress. And here I also recommend you to watch my video, Your Only Hope at Ever Losing Weight, where I actually talk about how stress affects your weight. And also why it's so important to actually let go of the weight focus so you can fully recover physically and mentally. So this is it for the Q&A video, and I really hope you found this helpful. And as always, if you want to know more about recovery, how to go through it step by step, then also read my book. I'm gonna include the link in the description. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and also like this video and subscribe to my channel, and also make sure you have the notification bell on so you are notified anytime I post a new video. But yeah, wish you a nice week, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.